the PressXtoTrade podcast. My name is Sachin. This is Tom, and then to the far right we have our special guest today, Ali.
Hello.
So I'm the creator of PressX. We have Tom, who's our lead content creator and editor, we're here today with another podcast live on Twitch. Man, how's everyone? How's everyone been? It's hot today in the UK. It's really hot. I think yesterday was one of the hottest days on record, but they say that every day there's sun. Yeah, every day there's down since 1969.
Which record?
I don't know. They always, every time there's a hot day in the UK.
Last year in the summer. It was not that bad yesterday. It's far worse today than it was yesterday.
Were you outside yesterday? Yeah, that's why you.
It was at like in the evening. It was like 5 onwards. I was in bed though, like all day, with the window open.
Oh, okay. My window was.
Today I've been actually outside, and it's worse today. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about going outside, mucking around on my skateboard, but I might melt. You know, it's really hot outside. Yeah.
And it's always hot here in Bahrain. Okay.
But you have aircon inside your houses.
True. Okay. We're prepared for this, regular event in our country.
Regular event.
Canada.
Ours is our once a year event. It lasts a couple months, and then that's it.
I was lying down that shirt on before this podcast started. I was looking hot.
I always
Like nicely moist.
my indicator for it's hot is I have a shower, and when I step out, I just walk out, and I'm just dry. I don't even need a towel. I just walk out and I'm dry. That's my indicator.
Evaporates.
Yeah. As I'm showering, the water doesn't actually hit me. It's a steam bath, steam shower. Oh man, I'm baking though. Anyway, so. Oh goodness, yeah. Well, he's only around the corner for me, so I can substitute for you. I'll be you today, and you can just be at home. You can talk to Ali for the rest of the day. Yeah. Anyway, so we always talk about upcoming gaming events, gaming news, just things that we're interested in gaming, and So what are you guys been playing today? Ali, we'll start with you. Start with the guests.
Wow. Is it just today or like the last week?
Literally the last 5 minutes. No, I'm just kidding.
Last 5 minutes. I haven't been playing for the last 5 minutes.
Just recently, any time in the last couple weeks.
Well, I've been playing the new Hearthstone expansion. That was fun.
Disgusting.
New decks, new meta, all that stuff. Fun. Baby raging here and there. People abusing broken cards that need to be fixed.
Yep. That's classic. That's classic.
Yeah, classic Blizzard. Besides that, playing regularly some Dota here and there, Fortnite. Just a regular old multiplayer.
Competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. How you have you played? What do you think about the new Fortnite updates? Are you happy with it, or you don't care? Because you know.
I mean, it doesn't make. I didn't play the new game mode they introduced, and I just played regular. I just played with like some friends. And I don't really go that all out in it. Just a fun thing to do.
Yeah, fair enough. Casual play. It's easy to get into. It's like quick. You drop in, you die. It doesn't matter. You can just restart.
You literally drop it and you literally just die. Some guy just happens to know how to land and actually play the game and just picks up a shotgun and just one taps you and you're like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, I was playing the other day and I landed next to a chest, but a guy managed to land right next to me, and I held E to open the chest, and the circle started going to show that I was opening it, but then he pressed E, so it cancelled mine and started reopening it. So I cancelled his, and I was opening it. He didn't realise. Then the chest blew open, and all the loot was there. I picked up everything, but he managed to pick up the gun because it spreads randomly around the chest, and I died. I was just like, well, good game. I mean, how was I supposed to predict where the gun was going to land if we're both spamming E around the chest?
You gotta just spam E all the time.
Spam E all the time, dude.
As soon as you jump off the plane, you gotta smash.
Let's play some Fortnite. He says, alright, play some Fortnite, but I gotta tell you, it's really difficult. We're gonna land and instantly you're gonna die. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. don't die, and we get some guns, and I kill some people, Sachin's like, bro, what's going on? You're like amazing, you're the best at Fortnite, and because you're shit. You know?
Is that a true story?
Like, yeah, it's a very completely true story. I did kill some people. You weren't like, oh my god, you're really good at Fortnite, but like, you made it sound like it was going to be so difficult. As soon as you land, there's going to be 5 people surrounding.
Because my experience is, I've only played with friends. I've never actually played that game solo. God forbid I ever do. And every time I land, I die. Or wait, we survive a little bit, and then that's it.
Just get in the building, get a gun.
It's not the same as like PUBG. Like there's, I don't know, man.
I think what Tom is trying to say is get good.
Yeah, I think so.
Get good.
But I don't want to get good at that game. I got other games to be good at. Yeah. So how you find the Hearthstone expansion, Ali?
It's fun. I every time there's a new Hearthstone expansion, I'm just like
I think
crazy about it. What I like to do is just I like to watch streamers and see what meme decks they come up with.
Yeah, that's always fun. That's always
and
fun.
just like to mimic them, and then I try to make my own stuff. I've been having fun with Burgle Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
So I just steal cards from from the other class, and I just play that. It's fun. Yeah. Don't really care about winning. It's just as long as something fun happens, it's good.
Hold on, guys. I think we're having a slight issue.
Technical difficulties.
All right.
There's the issue that we're just not loud enough.
Yeah. All right. I've turned you guys up. That should be okay. Jen, let us know if.
Why are the audio levels different every fucking week? Just keep it the same.
No. I think it's because I changed it one time. Okay, so Ali's really quiet on Discord, as opposed to everyone else. So I turn up Discord really high. I don't know though. It should have been high. I don't know why. I know I've turned
Here we go.
I've
My
turned
fault now.
I've turned you guys up. So hopefully.
Like, is like ear-splittingly loud for me.
Yeah, I mean they're quite loud for me as well.
Please stop spreading lies.
Yeah, but you remember how it was? Like, when you used to stream, you have to turn all sounds up in your own ears super loud for it to be heard on stream. I was always.
Yeah, no, that's fine because I can control it with this. So if it's really loud, it's fine. I can just turn down this. This doesn't affect it. This is just purely the headset. It can be high or low. This doesn't affect it. This doesn't affect OBS. That'd be weird if it did. Because if I turn you guys all the way down and you start speaking, it'll still come up.
Last time I had one of them, that affected system sounds. So when I turned that down, the system sounds.
No, this is not one of those. This is just the headset. Yeah, this is not. It's not like Windows 10 volume, so it's all good. Yeah. No, thanks, Jen, for letting us know. Please let us know if the sound is back up to what it should be, or louder. Yeah. So what card do you think is the most broken so far in Hearthstone?
Everyone's gonna say Shutterwalk.
I was gonna say other than that card. I think I was explaining it last time to Tom.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, it's like a card that replays all the battle cries that you've done, and if you put that in conjunction with other cards, it sort of breaks it and just keeps going on for minutes, like five minutes. You're just sitting there, just seeing the same animations go over and over again. It's like, please let this end.
Perfect.
Blizzard. You just could see, like, as soon as they play, it's just like, I'm out.
Yeah, it's quite long to wait. But you can, if you have enough armor, you can survive and then actually you get to play your turn. But I think the what it's the Shutterwork deck because they play like a certain set of minions, and so as soon as it's Shaman and it's not like a special sort of Shaman which has their hero power buffed to 1 mana or their hero power is like doubled. If it's not a special Shaman like that or a special thing like that, then it's most likely Shutterwalk, and then you can just concede and save yourself the whole game because
You can win those games.
The only way to win is to
If
rush
you-
them down.
Yeah, if you usually what happens is you get lucky and their Shutterwalk is literally like the last card in their deck, so you're just like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Deserve this.
Yeah, I think most of the Shutterwalks I've faced, their Shutterwalk is always fairly low in the deck, which is just pure luck, obviously. It's just random. Yeah. What else did you say? Dota as well. How's
Yeah.
How's this Dota situation right now? Like the updates, I mean, they're subtle. They're not too crazy.
No, so
We haven't had any meta changing, like
I mean,
super.
they change the way they do updates, right? So instead of it being like one update in a few months, it's like a good small small patch every like 2 or 3 weeks.
Hmm.
So it spices up the games. Sometimes you have like hero balances, sort of some um, gold reworks. How it sort of changes the way you play more aggressively. Play for kills rather than farm all game or stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but they've introduced this Dota Plus thing, which I think it's really good. I think Sachin would disagree with me and saying it's
Well,
not.
I only disagree because you like to say it's pay to win.
Listen, it makes the game extremely convenient and tells you things that you would have to dig for. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. It displays things and makes it. It gives you a fun progression system, like through hero leveling. So the more you play with a hero, the more you level up with it, and you get like hero voice lines and stuff like that. You can all chat with and annoy people. But Dota's always gonna be like just a fun game to go back to.
Every now and again, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. So the Dota Plus thing is something you subscribe to monthly, Tom, and you can. It basically in game it shows you statistics like if you're gonna level up, what spell should you choose next, and it says a percentage of what everyone chooses. So you can make your decisions based on the situation at the current time, like what you want to level up, or even what heroes to pick, or it might tell you what items to go, maybe, Ali? I'm not sure. It tells you
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
details about how
Basically
you
a guide.
died. Yeah, it's like a guide, but it's throughout the whole game versus like a static item guide or build guide that people used to create back in the day. I don't know if you can still have the build guides,
Yes.
the item guides to learn how to play. So yeah, I mean it's
Is it for new players?
um,
Or a veteran player to get that?
a veteran player. Actually, well, I don't know, Ali. What
Everyone.
you've played
I mean,
Dota for years and you got it.
yeah. Well, I got it because it's sort of like a big. It replaces the compendium stuff that you usually get. Like
Oh,
the
it
battle
replaces
pass.
it.
The battle passes that you usually get for like majors and stuff.
Okay.
So instead of getting those, you get this.
So Tom, the
So
battle
it's,
pass
it's
for the majors was you just sort of buy something and you get like loot and you get to do other things during the event.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you just automatically have that every time the event starts.
Yeah, it's like ongoing. I
yeah, it's like an
suppose.
ongoing thing. I assume they're gonna add things more aggressive.
I think for new players, it's good. For
Yeah,
old,
definitely for new players.
I think for veteran players, I mean, I think Arteezy has it. And he's a pro. If anyone doesn't know, he's a professional Dota player. So I think he has it. I think he was streaming last night and I was watching it. I believe he has it. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just
There's no reason not to get it.
yeah. I suppose if you can
It's just a plus.
yeah. I mean if you can afford it and you don't mind, then it's fine because it does cost money. How much is it a month?
It's $3.99.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, it's not too expensive because it is just sort of cosmetics and also like it just tells you more stats. But it's nothing that you couldn't find out before. It's just that it requires less digging now to understand like what happened, why you died, what item you should build, what hero to pick, what hero not to pick, or whatever. So yeah, for the new players, it's definitely good. But then again, I suppose new players might not buy it. But if you want to get better, a little bit quicker, I suppose it's pretty good. So yeah, that's the Dota Plus thing. Yeah, cool. Fair enough, Ali.
What about you guys?
Yeah, Tom, what have you been playing recently?
Well, as of the last 5 minutes, God of War,
Oh yeah,
the new one. But before that, last night, for some reason, last night I was like really ill. Night before last night. Yeah, and I just stayed up like all night playing Slay the Spire. And so I was on Steam at like 2 a.m. I was like, I want to play something like. I had an urge to play something like Hand of Fate. Do you remember that game?
yeah, I remember that game, and Slay the Spire as well. It's like I can see why the similarities.
So I heard about it. It was $11.99, so I bought it. Planning on refunding it if it was shit, and I just got like. I was just in some fever dream. It was crazy. It's really good. It's like so you go through the dungeon and you have rooms. There's like combat kind of rooms. There's boss encounter rooms. Question marks, which is like events and campfires. it's one of those. I don't even know what to call it in terms of genre. It's a card.
Is it like a
game.
card roguelike kind of?
Yes, I don't know what roguelike means anymore.
So it's procedurally like generated, and when you die, you start over. It's like permadeath.
Yeah.
So it's like like Binding of Isaac without the skill of dodging, and sort of.
Yeah, it's not real
It's
time.
quite randomized, and you go up levels or floors similar to Binding of Isaac or
Yeah, you get relics.
Rogue Legacy.
Isaac's, whatever the power-ups are called, I forget now.
Oh, they're just called items.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, it's the same in that sense. That reminds me of Isaac.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's just a game that you can, when you're bored, you just want to lose some time. Like that was, I looked at my clock and it was 2 a.m. and then I looked again and it was like 12 the next day. It was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
But yeah, as I said, I was like kind of ill at that point as well. So I don't know, I was in a weird place and suddenly a time had just passed. But that was really good. I'm going to play that again some more. I didn't actually plan on buying God of War this early when I said by next week. So
Mm.
I was going to Slay the Spire and just play that first.
Yeah, no, Slay the Spire is one of those like rare indie games that comes along that people will pick up and play for a while. I think like every now and again, just kind of go back to, sort of like FTL. It's like, you know, yeah, those kind of games are pretty fun.
It's still in early access.
Who developed this game? That's alright. You can find out for us and get back to us about that. But yeah, no, Ali, so have you seen any of? Have you never seen or heard of it?
I've heard of it, but I haven't actually.
Yeah, I think you'd
I
like
haven't
it.
actually seen it.
I don't think you'll pick it up, but I think you'd like it if you played it. Then again, Ali said to me the other day, he's like, "Oh, should I pick up Guacamelee?" And I said, "Yeah, Guacamelee's a decent game." And he picked it up, but he never played it.
See, that's my problem. That's my problem with Steam games. If I see something on sale that's like ridiculously cheap or like free, and I just pick it up, it's highly unlikely I'm gonna play it. It's just gonna sit there in my library, just waiting one day for me to pick it. But I'm just gonna go back to my, regular games instead.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I pick up games when they're cheap because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play this sometime at some point in the future, and then I just don't. I always think I'd save it for like a rainy day, like if I don't have internet and I can play offline on Steam, but then I end up just doing other things like going outside, socializing. I know, yeah. So this week I've been playing more For Honor, Dota 2 as well with Ali, a bit of Hearthstone. I don't think I played anything super new, but what I've been doing is I've been really learning. I'm playing Rocket League too. I've been trying to really learn like the For Honor heroes, like their hero specifics, because everyone can know their moveset, which is fine, but the hero specifics is what makes each character sort of special and unique, and that's their advantages. So that's been pretty fun to play.
What do you mean by hero specific?
So so you can pick a character. Let's say you pick the Orochi, right? So that's sort of the quick moving, fast moving samurai. I think his abilities like counter attack, and he's just generally fast. That's sort of his description on the game. So he has a combo. Obviously, all of them have combos. Like for instance, you can if you dodge backwards and then press right trigger, you do like a running hit. It's sort of like a dodge into a hit. That's a combo. But then there's hero specifics, such as if you get a light attack off, like a top light attack. If you get that off successfully, your second like top light attack will be like 100% successful. So you basically get 2 hits in. So it's like buy one get one free. Other hero specifics are when someone's attacking you, if you dodge into it at the correct time, you can counter them and then you can attack them. So those are a couple of character specifics for the Orochi. For the Peacekeeper, you can do your regular like right bumper or right trigger combos, but then you've got something like here's character specific, such as every time you do a heavy attack, you can do a light attack afterwards, and it will always be a poisoned knife attack. So you'll poison or bleed damage or whatever. You'll bleed them on that second light attack after a heavy. For the Berserker, I think it's like after. I think no matter what you start doing as a combo, but you can just start like a light or a heavy. But if you do a top heavy attack, it will always be an unblockable. So stuff like that isn't actually on the moveset list. So you'll never know unless you read the character specific sort of like information section on the other side of the moveset list. So you just have to combine them and learn. I think at really high play in For Honor, like they do sort of that like loads of people do fakes, and what they'll do is they'll fake you, and then you'll try and like parry them, but because they faked, you've just done the normal attack, and then they'll parry you, and then they'll combo you from there. It's it's I don't know, that game it's still good, but
Why do you think it's suddenly brought back?
That's a good question.
what do I
It's been
think?
a dead game for so long. I literally haven't played it since it came out last year. And suddenly, I felt the urge to play it again, but I don't know why.
I don't know. I think it's because of some of the updates. Maybe I really don't know. I don't know. I just think that maybe there was an event or something. I know that Twitter is still quite active, so perhaps maybe they were talking about like an event or something.
I've seen some big streamers play it. So maybe that's I've seen Lyric play it
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Seemed pretty good. I don't know. Maybe they fixed the issues that were there at launch.
Yeah, I think
Whatever.
that for sure. Like I know some of the issues are fixed.
That's
So
good.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think also the season pass added like a couple of new characters as well. So that's sort of given life back into the game. Yeah. Other than that, just Dota. We already discussed that, and Hearthstone. I mean, I'm sort of doing what you're doing. I'm not playing as many meme decks, but I am watching a couple of streamers play it and just seeing some of the interesting decks. I'm just currently playing like a druid deck. I tried to use Hadronox in the deck, which is a legendary. What? What?
The 2-8 poison.
No, that's
Yeah.
someone else.
That's it.
Hadronox is a 3/7 for 9 mana, and when it dies, it summons all your taunt minions back again. So yeah, I've no idea. Like sort of, I've been using that, but I've only had a couple times to play with it, so I have no idea if it's actually like that good. But yeah, I crafted it.
Pretty good.
It's okay. I mean,
I've seen like people like it's one of those decks that are like potentially going to be meta decks. I've seen a lot of people play it. People sort of hate it because there's this other card that came in this expansion,
yeah. What's this?
Witching Hour.
Oh
Rise
yeah,
is a
yeah,
beast.
yeah.
And since Hardnox is a beast, so it just brings us back and you have like this constant stream of taunts.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to, in order to get her out early, you have to play, or at least you can play. Was it like Oakheart? I don't know the whole name of the legendary, but you can get if he recruits a 2, 3, and 4 mana minion or something like that, or attack minions.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 attack.
Yeah. And Hadronox is a 3 attack minion. So you can do that. I don't really know how to make it work other than get to 9 mana and then play Hadronox and then hope she or he or it survives, and then you play the cube to duplicate it. So I don't know. But I've been trying that. Yeah, no, Hearthstone's pretty good. Still, it's alright.
Lots of Hearthstone.
Lots of Hearthstone going on right now. I think the first 2 weeks or a month of like a new expansion is like the best, because like everyone's playing random decks.
Yeah.
Although,
That's it.
yeah, Yeah, cool. All right, so let's move on to some of the topics we have here. Does anyone want to pick a specific topic first?
God of War.
Yeah, sure. We can talk about God of War since it released today.
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 Yeah. Picked that up from Tesco on a mad thing.
Did you? Oh man, I ordered mine
Yeah.
from Amazon. Well, it was out of stock, so I said, email me my. I said I signed up for the email alerts, and it was like, cool, we'll let you know, and it never did. And then I went back on randomly last night, and there was like 9 in stock. So I was like, okay, I'll just. I know. So yeah, how's the first few bits of God of War for you?
It's interesting, you know, like it starts off, and my first reaction was, that's a bit funky. Like, you get into it, and you get the first few combat encounters, and for me, the combat, it was alright. It wasn't, compared to something like Dark Souls, it wasn't superior. It didn't feel like it. And then you get, I won't spoil anything, but you get to a set piece moment, right? You get to the game's first, like, shit is progressing, this is the story. Have an actual fight. And when you have this actual fight, like, it's like something out of a superhero film, right? It's like the superhero and the villain clashing. It was fucking. This shit was so cool. Like mid-fight, like set-piece events were happening, but they didn't feel like set-piece events. It felt like they were organically happening. Shit was getting destroyed. It was. It turns on. It turns on real quick. Like it starts off and it seems quite generic. It seems like you're with your kid in a forest. It reminded me of Last of Us a bit, right? It reminded me of the Joel-Ellie relationship in Last of Us. Obviously with a God of War as the father figure instead of Joel. But when you get into that first moment, that's when you're like, oh shit. So give it 20, 30 minutes. Don't be like, okay, this game isn't great. Like give it.
I don't
a
think
second.
anyone's going to buy the new God of War game and play
yeah,
it for
I
30 minutes and be like, this is the worst game I've ever played, and not try. I think.
But what it doesn't feel like is God of War. Like if you're getting the new God of War game and you're thinking, okay, this is going to be a new rebooted God of War, it's going to be exactly like the old ones, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that. I don't think they've
expect
mastered
slowness.
it the same. Yeah.
Like the combat, although in the set piece felt fast, the combat in general is slow. Even the set piece combat was actually slow. It just seemed fast because of what the shit that was happening, the scale of the shit that was happening. But like in comparison to the old God of War, the combat speed is reduced by, it's halved. Like it's gone.
That's
it's
because they said that they didn't want you. They didn't say this, but I know that there was articles out saying that they improved the combat. And I assume that meant not just spamming the X button constantly.
Yeah, you're not
because
going to get
that's
any
super
400
boring.
hit combos.
Yeah, like we bought Castle Crashes like last year or something, and we were playing it because we played it on Xbox, and then we bought it on PC again because there was 4 of us. We're like, all right, let's play it. And I actually got physically tired of pressing X. I was just this is boring.
Intensive.
It's just, and I feel like the older games, I think all games that do sort of a similar thing on the same genre, like spamming X was just the way to do the combos, But I'm sure Devil May Cry has just like a load of combos that's just X as well. I mean,
yeah, like it's I just unlocked the first combo and it's literally just R1, 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 R2. So, but it'll get more fast than that. But yeah, like I was saying, at first you have light attack and heavy attack, obviously, and you have axe throw. You can chuck your axe. That's super satisfying. You can chuck your axe at Draugrs that you'll recognise from Skyrim and Norse mythology. And they can get pinned in the environment and stuff with your axe. It's super cool. You can call it back when your axe is in something. You can just punch the shit out of people, and you have shield attacks. It's meaty. Like I'm only, like I said, I'm only an hour or so into it, but it seems super good so far. Again, the best comparison I can make in terms of combat is it's like the Battlefield to COD comparison. If you know what I mean when I say that Battlefield is clunky in comparison to COD.
Yeah.
God of War
They're
is
both
clunky
very
in
smooth
comparison.
games, but
God of War is clunky in comparison to Dark Souls, right? So whereas Dark Souls is very quick, you're very free to move wherever you want. God of War, you're also free, but it feels slower. It feels clunky. It feels meatier and heavier in comparison to Dark Souls. So that's pretty much what I expected, but it's slightly clunkier than I was expecting as well. Like Kratos, he feels like I remember the old God of War games, and this was just a symptom of a lot of PS2 era games. when you're moving your character, the character didn't feel like it had any weight, and that's very hard to pull off. I can imagine because
saying it doesn't make
screen.
it a thing. Like it's hard to say, hey, make this character feel like he's there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But Kratos in this, he feels like he's there. He feels heavy, and it's probably got something to do with the camera movement. Because the camera movement, I assume you can up it.
I think it also has something to do with, and this is entirely just a guess, turn rate.
Yeah, that's
so in Dota, there's turn rate. Like it's not really mechanic, I don't know, but there's a turn rate thing inside Dota. So when you're facing one way and you click behind, every hero has a specific their own turnaround rate. So they turn around at like a specific rate. But in League of Legends, there's no turnaround mechanic or rotate. I don't even know what to call it. And so when you click on League, your character just like does this if you click back and forth.
Yeah.
And it'd be weird if on God of War you press like backwards to like sort of face you and he just flipped instantly.
Well, there is that actually.
Oh, okay.
That's why I thought you were going. There is a quick turn, like.
Oh no! Quick turn is a little bit different. I meant when you're naturally controlling him.
Yeah.
If you go left and right, you don't want him to like randomly flip.
He's
like
got
that.
fucking meat. Like,
yeah, he's a big guy.
I mean,
he's a big boy, dude.
What really cements it, and the first thing you're like, oh shit, in the game, it happens within the first like 5 seconds of you playing this game. He just chops down a tree and picks up the tree. Like he just fells this entire tree and just chucks it on his shoulder like it's a bag of sand or something.
Oh my god!
It's just like this guy is. It just looks so. It looks he's just like just walking with his son in the woods. It just looks ridiculous, but like you instantly get a sense of the sort of bulk of this guy that you're controlling, and that immediately cements it in your head as this guy is. He's heavy, he's big, and the combat like and another emphasis that it's only not hinted, but it's not exactly a key story element yet, but like he's super old now, right? Kratos he's not young and fast and
yeah. If you look at God of War, like Kratos from on the front cover of Gears of War 1, 2, 3, and then 4.
No, he's a super old man now, like and that's you get a sense of that as well. Like he's not as fast as he used to be. He's as strong as he used to be, but he's clunkier and he's slower. And there's a risk to him now that you feel like. You get the immediate sense, I do anyway. I get the immediate sense in the game that he's going to die in this game. This is like his swan song. That's the immediate sense I got.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Because
like this game is going to end with Kratos dying, and I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't played it, so you won't know. I'm sure.
Actually, I'm pretty sure he's died multiple times throughout the series anyway.
That's true. I know that he's gone to hell
at some point. Yeah,
and back.
I remember being in Tartarus at some point. I don't know what that was about, but
yeah.
I don't think he died though. I think he just went down to get something. But
he went down to get something. Yeah, I dropped something in hell. I dropped my wallet in hell. I'll be right back.
Nip down. Go down to Tesco.
I'm just gonna nip down to hell. Yeah.
Kill Hades and Cerberus and whatnot, and just nip back up. It's fine. Average Tuesday. But yeah, no, he's in Midgard now, so he's changed settings. So most people know that already, I think. But yeah, so it's Norse mythology now, and introduced early to a really cool character. No idea who he is, but like it's super cool. Like you instantly get a sense for, oh, this game gonna go deep on Norse mythology, and I like that. Like Odin's been mentioned already, so presumably in the past games you were fighting Greek. End of the first one. I imagine there's going to be some massive set piece fighting Norse gods in this game, and that graphics these days, that is going to be pang.
Is the snow physics the same as?
I think Norse mythology is making a bit of a comeback right now. I think maybe because of the Avengers and Loki and Thor.
Yeah, I mean I suppose it's sort of been.
Well,
it's No, I agree. I think it's because of, as you say, like Avengers and stuff, and just sort of big, like big budget things that they can sort of come back in. It's the snow physics as you wished.
I haven't seen it yet.
I
haven't been in a massive snowdrift. There's been snow, but like I haven't. Not many inches.
Ali, to put that to sort of let you in on that, the last podcast, Tom, last podcast or the previous one, Tom was saying that the graphics in Horizon Zero Dawn is so good, and there's when you're sort of trekking in the snow, your exact sort of like footprints and the shape, and if you roll down like one of the snowy hills, like it's all very like it's all physics based, so it like all the shapes are like realistic. All the trails you leave in the snow are realistic, and he was just like really happy about it.
It's
And he said he thinks that God of War
shit.
has the same thing.
Yeah.
It does, I think, because
Yeah.
I saw a GIF somewhere that he was doing that.
Well,
Someone was checking it.
Hold on 1 second. You saw a what? Sorry.
I saw a GIF and he was doing the thing with the snow. You know, he was walking around in it.
You can't say GIF on this podcast.
Said GIF. He just said GIF. Get him out.
GIF. Okay, I saw a GIF.
Get this boy out of here.
I saw a GIF.
Yeah.
And it was like they were displaying the snow mechanic, and
Yeah.
that was cool.
It looks super good. When I get to that point, I apparently there's a photo mode coming in, and you can like.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was like
Kratos'
a joke.
face to make him smile in this photo mode. And when that comes in, I don't think it's in the game yet, but I think it's coming in an update soon. When I get to that snow moment, I'm gonna just pig and shit. Just yes, I'm gonna take so many photos. It's gonna be great because I love that shit.
There's gonna be loads of like
It's
weird
beautiful, man.
faces of Kratos like all around the internet.
Yeah, looking really awkward and fake. The fucking Monster Hunter, man. In Monster Hunter you can make a guild card, which is like a card that people can look at and they can send you yours. You can send them them, and it's like an online thing. And you can take a photo for your guild card. And I like Monster Hunter and just JRPGs in general. Japanese action adventure games in general are like renowned for characters making really stupid faces.
Yeah.
And man, some of these faces in Monster Hunter.
Can you give a demonstration of one, please? Is that one of the faces?
Yeah.
Do they do this thing? They show the
Yeah, there's one of them for sure. It's just, oh man, it's some of them look deeply mad. Like it's a Joker level grin. Some of these poses are. It's ridiculous. But yeah, if you can do that in God of War, I want to make my. I want to know what the status of Kratos is. Is Kratos now the actual God of War? I
haven't played 1, 2, or 3, so I don't actually know any of the story really.
I've played 1 and 2, but I've got to find out the lore again because I used to know it because I played them as a kid. But I think what happened is Kratos killed. I mean, this game's like a decade old, so it's more. It's like 15 years old, so I can talk about spoilers. So Kratos kills Ares.
I haven't played it. Spoilers.
The Greek god of war, and then I presumably just becomes the god of war after killing the previous one. So I think, I mean, that might not be true, but I assume Kratos is like a god or some sort of demigod. Like he's a human god, I think, which would make him a demigod. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get back into that a bit. But I don't think you lose anything by not knowing the lore in this game. You were having a conversation on Twitter about that, weren't you?
About God of War?
About playing the previous games and if that has an impact on this one.
Yeah, so I tweeted saying that I was going to pick up God of War, it'd be my first God of War game, and someone replied saying, don't worry, because you don't need to know anything from the previous games to play this one. I said, okay, cool. So that's good to know. But it's weird because I feel like there'll be loads of references. I don't like playing games out of order, but I feel like this one's different enough. Well, I shouldn't, I'd be okay. But I like when games refer to things that have happened in the past, in the game's lore or background or in the previous game. And it'll suck because I won't understand. So I'll just be playing the game and I'll make a reference and it'll just go right over my head. And I'll just be continuing on ignoring it. It's like I'm not getting all of the magic.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I've only noticed one moment where someone who's never played God of War could be like, what? But it's one of those moments where you kind of garner what's meant, you know? Guys like, oh, you know, you're one of these people, and you're kind of like, oh, I kind of get what he means. But if you know what he means, then you know what he means. you can make sense of what he means based on the intonation and the information we already have. So it's not like, I assume that's going to be how the rest of the game runs as well. Like there'll be hints to stuff that happened, or hints to Kratos' past and who he is and what he is. But I don't think it's vital that you need to play the last ones.
Yeah.
But a lot of streamers are doing that. They're doing like God of War franchise playthroughs at the moment.
I think I saw quite a few as well. A lot of streamers. They're either doing the ones that they missed, or they're just going from 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Sort of like a God of War marathon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea to do that before the new one. So, but it's it's good. Another thing is that it's like I was saying, it's similar to Last of Us, and it is in the sense that you have this father figure and child figure, and I think that's a really interesting thing to explore in games specifically. And it's the way that it's very different from Last of Us. I suppose it isn't really, because it seems kind of unwilling, right? It's like an unwilling relationship, which that's always a really good place to start, I think, with these kind of relationships, because from an unwilling relationship you can see it build into an actual, love-based relationship at the end of it. So I think I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes.
Are you saying Kratos doesn't love his son?
Basically, yeah. No, he calls him boy. He's like, boy, get me thine log, boy. It's like, alright then.
Do you actually find out his name?
Yeah, it's called Atreus.
Oh, okay.
Not the band. Both though.
That's Atreyu, but yeah.
I've heard him call him Atreus once so far,
The
and literally every single time it's been boy. That's funny, man. Yeah, but it's exactly the kind of thing you'd expect, right?
Ali,
It's
if you
like
disrespect me, I'm gonna start calling you boy.
boy.
You call me?
Oh shit. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't really played any God of War games, and
Yeah, I'm the
I've
same.
seen a couple of streams of it, and all I see is Kratos just saying, shut the fuck up, boy.
It's exactly
Just
that.
be
It's like,
quiet, boy.
kid, you're not ready. Shut up.
Yeah.
It's literally that for the first hour.
Like,
but
children
no,
are
it's super
supposed
good.
to be seen but not heard, sort of thing.
That's exactly right. Yeah, there are so many scenes where he's just like starts speaking, and the kid carries on speaking. He's just like, right, just fuck off. It's great. But you feel kind of bad, because he's treating this kid like shit, basically. But
Yeah.
you again, it's one of those harsh father kid must learn relationships.
Yeah.
Everyone has experienced either through real life or through media.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, but I definitely recommend it from the first.
So you're looking forward to playing the rest of it.
Oh hell yeah!
Probably
I'm
gonna
actually
bang it
prepared
out
tonight,
in like the next, this weekend.
Oh
Go
yeah, I'm
as far
gonna
as you can. What
do
difficulty
some
are you
essay
playing
shit,
on?
and then I started on there's 4 difficulties. There's story, which every game seems to have these days, which is combat is easy. Just focus on story if you don't care about combat. There's like a normal, there's a hard, and then there's a super hard. Well, I think that had like something special about the super hard difficulty, like a weird death mechanic. Maybe not though. I forget what it was now. But I started off on the hardest one. Second hardest one. After my first combat encounter with 2 Draugrs, I took like 3 hits and died. So I downed it. It's interesting though, because like.
Is combat easy, but it's punishing if you get hit. Like Dark Souls Dark Souls combat is easy, but if you get hit, but even by one of the first enemies in the game, and you let your guard down for just even a second, all of a sudden you find yourself getting comboed or getting hit a lot.
It might
they die easily, but so do you.
With Dark Souls, which is fucking immense. I've got like 1,000 hours in those games. This combat seems more punishing than Dark Souls, because if you're fighting just a hollow guy at the start of Dark Souls, you can take like 12 hits before dying. You just stand there and let it wail on you. But in this, I got hit 3 times by a dragon and just died. And this is on normal difficulty. And sorry, that was on hard difficulty. I turned it down. But that's just your first encounter. So I got further on, and then you get an encounter where there's like fucking 15 Draugrs just running at you. And I mean, I'm glad I downed it, to be honest, because I don't know. I'll probably up it again when I get a bit more proficient with it. But
yeah, as long as they have.
It seems really.
As long as they, I don't mind if they do this, because I kind of like when games do this. When they block special content like cutscenes, different sort of alternative endings, stuff like that. If you don't play on the hardest difficulty.
Oh, no. What game does that?
Halo 3 does it. The end when you play the last one on Legendary, it gives you an alternate ending. Stuff like that. But it's not necessary. It's just really fun to do and to see. It's sort of like rewarding.
Yeah. I don't think I'm losing anything.
No, I don't think so either. But
No.
I was just wondering. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's super good. It's linear, but there are lots of side paths you can go down, get chests, kill some enemies and shit like that. It seems super good so far. I'm looking forward to get back into it.
Sounds good.
I'll report that next week, I'm sure.
Cool. Yeah. So Ali came with a good topic today, actually.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to tell us.
Surprising.
if you're well, I mean, I think it's pretty relevant. I think it's always going to be relevant. But yeah, do you wanna say what you were thinking about your topic?
So yes, I was thinking, what's a good topic? And I just thought, well, I hate how all these communities have like toxicity in them. So I'm just like, let's talk about toxicity in gaming communities. You know, I'm looking at you, Overwatch, League of Legends,
Yeah.
Dota, all you goddamn multiplayer games.
I mean, recently, so Fortnite doesn't really have that because, well, some people seem to say, oh, how come Fortnite has such a good community? And it's not that they have a good community, they have a community just like everyone else. The reason why they don't see it is because, unlike in PUBG, unlike in, well, actually, I don't know what other games, but online games where you can use voice comms to talk to the enemy. In Fortnite, they don't allow that. In PUBG, they do.
Yeah.
So you can flame someone, you can be rude to someone. You know, obviously you can be rude to whoever you queued up with, but that doesn't. You don't usually do that unless it's like Dota or League or something where like they're, you know, because when you go into a battle royale game, you know, you don't get super mad because you lost necessarily just because your partner died. Like you wouldn't queue randomly then if you know you're just gonna queue for fun at that point. But yeah, no, it's like Fortnite doesn't have that whole, you know, you can't like talk to someone, and the only way to really troll someone is, well, you can't unless you like build around someone. There's no like team attack. They actually took that out of the game because people are being toxic with it. So, you know, it is there. It's just that they have taken measures to prevent it going any further. In PUBG, you can easily kill your teammate. You know, there's no reduced team damage. Like on For Honor, there is reduced team damage.
Wait, you can kill people in PUBG? Kill your teammates?
Yeah, just turn around and shotgun them.
I did not know that.
Because why would you do? Because why would you? Right? Like why? That's never been in your mind to go. Oh, let me ruin the game for all of my friends and just shotgun.
Because that's
someone.
long as well. Like a PUBG game, if you're planning on winning, that can take like 40 minutes. Like, that's a long
Yeah,
time.
like max it could.
So if
take
you
that
just
long.
turn around and kill your mate at the start of the match, like just leave. Like
Yeah. So what we do is if someone's sort of like if someone's glitched on a roof when they're landing, or if they somehow got themselves stuck like in the middle of running or jumping, we have to kill them so they get downed, and then we revive them up and they get sort of like unglitched. And or sometimes when we just want to end it at the beginning, or like let's say someone disconnects, we'll try and sort of find combat really quickly, like take out a group that was near us, and then we'll just quit. But before we quit, we'll try and shotgun each other down or something, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I don't think a lot of people do it in PUBG. It's not really a. I think apparently people in Fortnite were doing it because people wanted their friends' resources, and so they would.
You got a nice shotgun.
Yeah, basically, it's like arguing over the golden scar and stuff. You know, like people would just.
You don't keep any of these things after the match is over, right? No. So why? Who cares? Who cares if your scar's gone?
I want the golden scar.
I understand, like in Overwatch, when you go for the golden weapons, because you have them forever and you get to use them every single match.
Yeah.
But in PUBG, why do you care about like a gun that you're going to be using for 10 minutes?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I was talking about Fortnite when people.
Sorry, yeah, Fortnite is what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah,
But-
like
Yeah, go on.
I see like two different approaches that developers take. There's like the approach where everything's there, like everyone has the ability. They have the ability to communicate in any way they want. The means are there. It's just up to you how to use it. And then you have other developers that are like, I'm going to completely shelter you from everything and just protect you from any kind of outside communication and just play your little game. So you have like Dota where you can all chat, voice chat, all that stuff, but you have the option to mute, to sort of mute all chat, all that stuff. And I can compare that to Heroes of the Storm, which is only allies chat, and I think the default is actually allies chat is disabled unless you turn it on.
You can't even type in Heroes, can you? You can't type, right?
You can type, but you have to like turn it on.
What game is it where you can't type to your heroes? You can only use the default wheel. Is that?
Remember?
Maybe it's like Vainglory or something.
I don't know, but yeah. So
Yeah.
there's different ways of trying to
Some-
control it, but I don't think you can actually control it. It's more like it's just people will find ways to get their toxicity out. You know, they're gonna grief one way or the other.
Yeah,
thing is with
yeah. I don't
Fortnite-
think there's only going to be any way to stop it unless, you know, like, there's been some ways to reward certain things. Like, you know how when you play a shooting game, in everyone's mind, if you get the kill, like you get the points for the kill, right? And when someone steals your kill, it feels, you feel annoyed because it was
personally
your kill.
affronted and offended. Yeah.
Yeah, even though like they helped you or whatever, in your eyes it was your kill and they stole it, and so some people might get a bit angry at that. So what they do to prevent stuff like that is they give you assist points. So if you did 99% of the damage, you'll get 99 points, and then the other player will get 1 point if one kill is worth 100 points. Mm-hmm. So in Gears of War Horde, points are given. Your score is based on how much damage you do, not how many kills you get. And so it doesn't really, because you're at the end of the day you're working as a team in Horde mode, right? Even online, like it's sort of encouraging that team play.
Yeah, I think that's more incentives to be nice is what they need. Sort of.
I think in Overwatch there was they changed people saying GG easy to say something nice, right?
Oh yeah. I
Yes,
remember that.
yes.
That was funny. That was just like a funny developer troll though.
But they
Also
still
with a
have it.
serious-
Like it's still
also
in
with
the
a
game.
serious function. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But it was the kind of thing where if you were mad at that, then
You're
assess
toxic.
your life. Like,
It's
obviously just it's a bit of fun. They're doing it. It's a fun solution to an actual problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Of people being rude to each other and just some people find that really annoying and hurtful. I guess who cares? But like they've done this solution, they put it in, and it's a laugh. Like they've done it as a funny thing to solve a serious problem. So just take it like that. Don't get pissed at that. Because I think that's a good way of doing it. Because like, I think it's a Fortnite. I remember one time when we jumped into PUBG, and it was all good. It was fine. We're in the lobby. We jumped into a game. We got into the lobby area where all the players spawn in, and before the match actually starts. And it was just like a cacophony of fucking prepubescent bullshit. Like as soon as we got out of the loading screen into that little lobby, it was people screaming. Like it was so loud. And like Fortnite, this game is been thrust into the spotlight, right? Like Drake played it. Like kids know what this game is now. Kids are obsessed with it. Everyone's playing this game.
Ninja.
Exactly. Like
Ninja, I love you.
There are so many kids playing this game now, and the developers know that. Like if they're almost obliged to do something to stop like verbal toxicity, because they're gonna get so much shit. It's gonna be a shitstorm if a 6-year-old kid just goes into this game and immediately meets a guy who starts like just going ham on him. Like this poor kid is just getting abused by some guy on the internet, and his parents are like, "What the fuck's going on here?" They're gonna send a strongly worded letter to the developers, and this will be happening nationwide, globally. Like it'll be a nightmare. So they have to implement some, and they have implemented some, like just a full on blanket fuck your toxicity, just play the game level of control. And I think for Fortnite specifically, that's probably the right way of doing it. But for other games, maybe not. Like PUBG is more, I assume, more of a mature audience. So that level is more.
Yeah, like
people are generally older, so people can generally handle it.
It's not as easily accessible as because Fortnite is like free to play, right?
True, and it's optimized way better.
Yeah, and PUBG is sort of like you have to pay for it. I don't think the mobile one that you don't have to pay for that, right?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm gonna check right
I haven't
now.
played it on mobile yet, but yeah, I think like that's one way to sort of say, okay, it's not gonna have that many kids because they have to sort of pay like what is it, $20-$30?
Yeah, PUBG is free. PUBG Mobile is free to play. Yeah, what do you guys think about the influx of battle royale games? And do you care, or do you just think as long as it's an additional mode to the already built game, I don't mind, because technically that's more content. Like you're getting extra content, right? That you wouldn't have gotten, So let's say so. Okay, so one of the topics on here is that I want to talk about is Call of Duty Black Ops 4, the new Call of Duty coming out in September. they're having some like global reveal on like May 11th or something like that. I don't remember.
World exclusive.
Yeah, the classic
Of
line.
course, yeah.
And apparently they've considered like not building the single player, and they're just going to have a battle royale mode. Now, if there was single player and multiplayer and a separate battle royale mode inside multiplayer, no one would mind, right? Everyone would be like, cool, more stuff. But they're subbing because they have to do this whole like yearly release thing, or I know it's on a cycle. Like I know like Black Ops is every 3 years, and then it's whatever. Regardless, the fact that they're saying like the fact that it's only coming out now that they might not even have single player, it's like cutting content for a BR mode. Like how do you feel about that? Like BR mode not being an extra, but actually replacing.
I know that historically you like COD campaigns, right? Like whenever you get a COD, you'll play a campaign.
Yeah, I haven't bought Call of Duty in a long time, but I like the Call of Duty campaigns. Yeah, I think they're fun. They're just wacky. It's just fun.
Like realistically, who nowadays who plays a Call of Duty plays the campaign? Like, I mean, for pretty much everyone, I think. Like, no one is buying Call of Duty for the single player.
That's true, but there are some people that do. But realistically, the money is in the multiplayer.
I suppose there must be at least one person on the planet who bought Call of Duty World War II specifically to play the single player and not the multiplayer. There must be one person who did that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm sure that there was. I haven't touched the single player. I think Jake has. Well, our friend Jake, he's been playing the game. When it came out anyway, and he was playing the single player. And he was just mocking it the whole time. He said he just didn't like it. But
well, it's been an afterthought for a decade. Like since I guess maybe the first Black Ops. Like all the campaigns after that were an afterthought because they recognised the success of their multiplayer. They almost entirely focused on that. And I mean, at that point, if they're not putting maximum effort into a single player, just cut it. Like, why bother? Why release a mediocre product if it's going to be mediocre? You know, like I understand that some people like it traditionally, but I mean, it was time to move on a long time ago.
At that point, though, Call of Duty becomes this maybe it's been like that for a long time and I haven't recognized it, but without the single player, Call of Duty and Battlefield even, they will just become these sort of like, you go in, all you do is you click play and you go into online and you just play against other people. It's like it's very arcade. It's like Dota. All you do is go on. Like there's no single. Well, there is, but that came way after. All you do is you load it up. You get into a group or a lobby with your friends and you play online. I mean, I guess that's fine. That's it's actually less friction and less.
Yeah, it's just cutting out the weight. The dead weight.
I think we should leave the single player games to other companies.
Like companies that specifically want to make a single player
big story game. I'm sure. Thing is, maybe right now military shooters story campaigns are just not what people want to buy.
Yeah, I don't think they are.
Maybe
the last one I can
boring.
remember that was good was Spec Ops: The Line, right? Like that was a fucking sick game and it had a really good story, like an actual emotionally charged storyline, and it was specifically single player.
That got
super good.
Yeah, that was received very well for the story.
But I don't think it was very popular, was it? Like
it
I don't think that game was selling
at all.
incredibly well. No, so I mean that to me is the pinnacle of shooter storylines, and I mean I forget I love that game, but I forget it exists most.
People
of the time.
play the online still, by the way.
Was there an online mode?
Yeah, there's an online mode.
I was just gonna say, is there an online?
And I opened the game up like last year sometime. I was like, let me play the story because I know it's good. And the controls were god awful, like so bad, like real
it's like
bad.
Pre-Gears of War 1 level bad.
Oh, so just horrible. Like the controls of what is like. You know how people say Witcher 1's controls for like combat, whatever's
awful.
bad. It was like that. It was like so bad.
No, I refuse to accept that's even possible.
I know. It was. It just felt really weird and not modern. Like how WAC to move, and then mouse is your aimer. Like it was. I think mouse was your aimer, but WASD definitely wasn't to move how you think it is. It was It's a third person game, so.
Only 2012 Spec Ops: The Line. I thought it was earlier than that.
I don't know. 2012 was so we were 16.
What? We're 24 years old. 2012 was 6 years ago. We're 18.
Oh yeah. Wait.
You were probably 19.
Sorry. I mixed up 2012 being the year I started sixth form, but that was the year I started university.
Quick maths.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not that old, Christ. No, like, I don't. Who cares? Like, Black Ops. I mean, I don't even remember the Black Ops 3 storyline. I don't remember that at all. I probably played it because I think all the Call of Duty apart from this most recent one, I played the campaigns. Maybe not to completion. I think I started Advanced Warfare whenever that came out.
Ali, did you ever play Call of Duty when you were younger?
Of course. I mean, when you were younger, you know, Call of Duty is like talk of town. Everyone's like, Call of Duty, hey, let's play some Call of Duty.
Duty.
Call of Duty.
But yeah, like that's the whole thing. I remember. I think one of the few campaigns I played was Call of Duty World at War. That was the one that I think.
That was like one of the hardest ones on Veteran. It was so stupidly hard. It was grenade spam. It was ridiculous.
Oh.
There was one mission, and it was the one with the flamethrower and the Japanese like, lying in the grass.
Yeah.
Now, me and Tom found that super difficult. But after you get past the beginning checkpoint, it's the easiest mission on Veteran because you have the flamethrower. You literally just walk around just spraying them.
I never got that achievement. I didn't complete that.
I completed the whole. I completed like the whole campaign on Veteran. It was tough, but it was. Yeah, I don't know. It was just something to do. Like I enjoyed doing it because it wasn't like to me. You know, that was something just that I wanted to do. I'd always like sort of been sort of like proud of myself for completing the Call of Duty stories
greatest
on,
life achievement
on Veteran. But yeah, that one was real tough.
So proud of you.
Yeah. All right, so running out of time here. The only thing we didn't really touch on is like one really small thing, which is so Dark Souls Remastered, which is coming out on May 25th, which we already just talked about and said that it wasn't really for like veteran players, it's more for like the new players, is delayed on Switch. Now, I found that really weird because if it's supposed to be for new players, because the base game is literally the same, you know, like no one who owns Dark Souls is gonna go buy the new remastered Dark Souls when they can play the old one and just, you know, be online with them anyway. Actually, I don't even know how it's gonna work. I assume that it will be sort of similar. I'm not sure. Like the servers will be like it'll be cross play between the old one and the remastered. I don't even know how that will work. But yeah, it's been delayed on Switch. And that's weird because if it's supposed to be for new players, the Switch is the only platform it's not on, and it's just like they're delaying it. Why? Yeah. Why do that? Not many people are gonna buy it once they realize that there are no gameplay changes. If that's still true, you know, like I wouldn't go. I mean, I wouldn't. Would you buy? Okay, so name one of your favorite games that is not.
Isn't Dark Souls.
Not Dark Souls or Fallout. Something that you played when you were a kid.
Pokemon. Specifically, I was a kid. Yeah, Pokemon. Maybe.
Okay. Oh well, that's still ongoing. Something that isn't made like now.
Fuck me. Your questions are always
all right, what I'm trying to
fucking
say.
Restrictions. You were like, hey Tom, what would you do if you had unlimited money, but you can't spend it on yourself, your friends, your family, anything for your own personal gain, or anything for the gain of others? I was like, what does that fucking leave? Like, what options are there left to me to spend this infinite money on if I can't do fucking anything with it? I'll put it in the ground like a fucking squirrel with their nut and dig it up in 30 winters' time when you're dead and I can actually use this fucking money to do something useful. Fuck!
Alright. So what game would you replay that if they made it brand new,
Lord
modern...
of the Rings, Return of the King.
Yes!
That PS2 game needs to be remade.
No. But they remake it, right? New engine, right? It looks baller, like really good graphics.
Like the Shadow Colossus.
And they have some quality of life things, but there are no gameplay changes. It's the same game.
I wouldn't care. I would play it.
You think it's old enough?
Yes.
So, how is that not the same with Dark Souls, or is that just not old enough?
Because Dark Souls came out in 2011.
Is it just too relevant?
Well, yeah, Dark Souls has never faded from relevancy. Like Dark Souls is always someone's always like, oh, this game's like Dark Souls. Like Dark Souls, it was seminal. You know, this game was fucking it changed the landscape.
What I mean is Dark Souls 1. I suppose
gone.
that doesn't really matter.
No, Dark Souls 1 is still in regular conversation all the time. Like people always refer to Dark Souls 2 offhand.
You know, I wake up sometimes and I talk about Dark Souls to my mum before I go to work.
Yeah, me too,
and then at lunchtime I talk about Dark Souls to my colleagues. And then on the way home I talk to people on the tube about Dark Souls. Then I come home and I said, Mum, what's for dinner? And she says, oh, I've made you some Esther soup, and I'm like, okay,
That's
thanks.
good. That's good. I wonder where you're gonna go with that.
You know,
though.
we talk
That's
about
good.
Dark Souls over dinner, and then I go to my room and I play Dark Souls by myself, sometimes with friends. Then I
Yeah,
go to sleep. I listen to the Dark Souls podcast.
That's it. Every time I leave the house, she's at her anvil. She's just hitting sword. And I leave the house, she's like, "Don't go hollow." I'm like, "I won't, Mum. See you later. I'm back for dinner."
What did she say?
Every time.
What did she say?
Don't go hollow. As she's hitting her anvil. I mean, she has a very successful business, so I'm proud of my mum. You know.
Yeah.
And she's remained throughout all these years, these tough, long years.
Yeah.
In,
Apparently, Ali told me that his mum always says to him, "Wash your back."
What?
What?
Okay.
No,
My
no,
mom
no.
say that. You say that to me.
No. Because my mum's Dark Souls and his mum's the anvil
Mm.
person. This is a
My
blacksmith.
mum's Andre the Blacksmith.
So Ali's mum's got to be a dwarf from World of Warcraft.
Oh, I got you.
Dwarf. Wow.
Yeah.
Is that meant to be a Scottish accent?
Watch your back.
Wash your back.
I thought you said wash your back.
Yeah, wash your back with soap. Is
Like,
that?
it's hot
It's
out
good
there,
advice.
man.
Wash your back.
Got a shower.
That's
there.
not what the dwarves say, but let's go with.
Yeah, like what are you talking about?
What do they say?
They would say, "Watch your back."
No, wash your back.
All right.
Dwarves
Why would a
can't-
dwarf
okay,
tell
because
you
dwarves
to
can't
wash your
reach
back?
behind their back,
No,
so
beat the
it's
bullet,
good
fam.
advice.
Beat the bullet.
Like, beat the
God
bullet. No, that was good.
The memes are too strong.
Yeah. Cool. So the last thing we didn't get a chance to talk about, but it doesn't matter. We'll talk about it next week because it'll probably be the more time that we leave it, the more relevant it will become, and that's the World of Warcraft expansion Battle for Azeroth. So I know Ali's looking forward to that. I know because Ali plays WoW, and I think most of us come back for the expansions just to play for a bit, see how it is. Basically, give Blizzard our money, and then we just for free, and then we just give it to them, and then we're like, I don't want to play it. But yeah, I think Ali got.
Wow,
Ali, didn't you get like a free gift from Blizzard?
Yes. So this is like, please come back and play, and they gave me like 7 days of game time. They're like, please come play. I'm like, sure. I mean, I'll play it for 7 days.
Yeah, why not?
But
Is it
you know,
out, this expansion.
No.
not yet.
Okay.
No, in August, I think.
August 14th or August 11th, one of those.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, so did they give you free game time now, or for the?
Yeah.
expansion?
They gave me. They're like, I don't know, come play it for 7 days, and then maybe you'll
Wait, can you
pre-purchase the
renew?
expansion.
Can you renew that? Like at any like, do you have to press a button to
Yeah.
renew it, or does it just
It
give it to you?
says offer expires 30th April. So
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you could take it on like the latest.
I mean-
but the expansion won't be out then anyway. So
no.
Like, why wouldn't they do that? I mean, that seems like because their subscription is entirely arbitrary in terms
I
of
don't know.
access to the game, right? So why couldn't they just send a blanket email to every past player and say have 7 free days of game time?
they could just do that for any
Yeah.
player.
Why wouldn't they do that? That seems like that makes
They
sense
could just
because
have, like, an
they're
event
not
where
they're
they
not
like-
losing anything because what they're selling isn't a tangible thing. You know, they have a player base, so they're not losing anything by just sending out 7 free, and they might gain new players.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
guess they send it now. I don't know why they send now, because right now there's like a content drought. No one's really doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's done the raids. PvP's just like, eh. So it's pretty much just come and get a little. It's like a drug dealer coming up to you, say, hey, you want to try some? You want to try some of this good old weed?
Good old weird. Sticks his little
old
finger
weed.
under your nose. Yeah.
You'll come back for more. I know it.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm good for it. Come on. Offers you a crumb of drug,
A crumb of drug.
crumb of wowie, dude. Yeah.
Kill me.
Oh man. Anyway,
Ridiculous.
I think we'll end it here. Again, thanks very much for listening. Thanks for watching the podcast. Thanks for coming onto the podcast, Ali and Tom. Appreciate it as usual. We'll do another podcast next week, most likely. Our social media, we are PressXtoTrade on everything. Recently, we got a custom URL for SoundCloud, so we're at soundcloud.com/PressXtoTrade, which is where you can find all our podcasts. We upload our Twitch VODs to YouTube, but we also have other YouTube content such as like short animations or gameplay videos, sort of edited down to the funny moments, funny bits. So yeah, feel free to check us out. And yeah, fuck Pinterest. Yeah.
Fuck Pinterest.
Yeah.
Fucking. Fuck Bahrain.
What?
Oh.
Wow.
Alright.
No.
Alright.
We're gonna cut the podcast.
Sorry.
Cut it out here.
I'm just real, man. I'm just real. I'm saying what everyone's thinking.
You're sick.
Everyone's thinking it.
Everyone's thinking it.
No, everyone's like, give me that oil money.
Give me that oil, buddy. Wow.
Good old
Look at
oil.
this
Good
racism.
old oil, dude. Alright, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for watching. See you later.
Cheers.
Bye.
Goodbye, big boys.